Hi, everybody. It's me. Welcome to the Friday Funhouse. Joining me right now are Schizophrenic Queen and Finite Atticus, and we were just having a fascinating conversation about really gross things and dicks, which we're not going to bring up now because we're being broadcast, and little, tiny, impressionable children will ask embarrassing questions of their parents if they heard what we were talking about before. But we're probably just going to go right back into talking about gross things and dicks. Oh, and trying to find a girl for Queenie.
No, I said I have to do something shout-out worthy on my channel so that I can be more popular with the ladies.
More shout-out worthy?
I should make like a 30-minute video where I'm talking about dicks?
Well, what kind of lady are you looking for?
Not any specific lady, just ladies in general.
Just any lady. Dead lady.
No, multiple ladies.
Multiple ladies. What if it's one, like? Oh, hey, I'm actually.
I'll be a lady. Myself. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, Atticus, you're so beautiful.
I have large breasts, and
Atticus, while you're very handsome in real life, you would not make an attractive woman by any stretch. Someone just jumped in.
I'd put him in a dress and make out with that shit.
Who jumped in? Christopher. Hello.
Well, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Wow.
Yes, we can. Radio voice man.
It's radio voice man.
Wow. Everybody says my voice is nice, but that one.
Hey, villains coming at you at 6 and 10. Stop right there. But
That's
first,
right.
we're going to listen to Oingo
Morning
Boingo.
Zoo. This is Scooter and the Bandit coming at you live. Right here. What are you gonna do? That's right. What? Live at the
And then they go to
Spectrum.
the boring traffic guy who does traffic for every single radio station and news station in the area, and he's like,
Turnpike's clean if you approach the Coatesville exit. And
you're gonna give away where you live, man. Don't give away real locations.
Oh, please. Everybody knows where I'm at. Almost everybody.
All right.
Okay,
So
I haven't met Christopher before. Now,
actually, I have not met Christopher either. I'm just that easygoing.
I haven't met him either. We're all strangers here. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
We're not strangers. I know you.
We could talk to each other about dicks.
Oh, we don't know this other guy. Tell us about dicks, guy.
Oh wait, that's not the initiation to the Friday Funhouse. Christopher, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone who doesn't know you?
So, hey everybody, my name's Christopher. I host a podcast, and it's called Meeting of the Minds. And I have super interesting people that sometimes I agree with and sometimes I disagree with, but the goal is to have like civil and respectful conversation and to disagree without being disagreeable, and it's actually quite disarming, and you get people to talk and open up about things that they normally don't. So that's my gig, and then I just show up on random hangouts apparently.
Square. No, I'm just kidding.
I need to. Let me tell you a little anecdote real quick. So, yeah, I did break in. Well, you sent me the invitation, so I just clicked on it. Real quick, I have a wedding to play. I'm a bass player as well, right? I have a wedding to play tomorrow. So tonight I learned so many songs that I hate. I used to be on the circuit. You know, I used to play like an acoustic duos and stuff like that, and I had those like 150 songs down, like, you know, Brown Eyed Girl and, you know, stupid crap like that. But since I've stopped playing 5 years ago,
they've added new dumb ones.
Bittersweet Symphony, Wagon Wheel.
What is Wagon Wheel?
That Darius Trucker song.
No, the only Wagon Wheel I know is when it was time for Timer. I'm so fucking old. It was a thing on ABC. They'd break in and there'd be this yellow blob thing with long legs, and he'd sing about how you could
I could eat a wagon wheel.
I could eat a wagon wheel.
Yeah,
that's the
you're
only
not
song
that
I know.
old.
When your get up and go has got on and left, I'm gonna sing the whole fucking
Hanker
thing.
for a hunk of cheese. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Just try to keep your contempt for the music in, because if you're like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the bride and groom, and I fucking hate this music, and I hate all of you, and now the chicken dance.
And don't get me started. So yeah, I have to learn. Wagon Wheel is the Rock Me Mama, I hate this song, so I'm not gonna sing. The lyrics is something and a Darius Tucker from
Well, now
Duty
you've
and the
got to play us
Protest.
through the entire time we're on air, because it sounds awesome.
I'll put like when it gets tense, I'll do like that.
Yeah, there you go. If Atticus and I finally have that fight that we were planning on having,
Nice.
or actually I
it
was
gonna be
planning
like
on
real
having,
freaky
I haven't
No,
included Atticus in my plans.
we were including to we were going to murder Angus. That's what it was.
Don't murder him before I get to be on the show.
Like we can't do the show without Angus.
Oh,
Well, actually, technically, we
If
can't.
you
It's his
can.
channel.
Oh. There, see, don't do it before I get to be on the
See,
show.
I have conflicted feelings because if you do the show tomorrow, you're going to be like everyone else, and you're gonna get off the show and you're gonna go, "I'm never fucking doing that show again."
No,
and we'll never hear from you
I'm
again.
probably gonna be like the class dork, and I'll be like pawing at the back door, like, "Hey, can I come on again? I wanna hang out with you guys."
Do you know what we
We're
do?
friends, right, Rocky? What's that?
Hey, Rock, I don't know.
Do you know about our show?
I don't.
Oh,
Jason,
okay.
you wanna?
I will tell them
Educate
because
him.
on Saturdays, we kind of do an MST3 style riff on whatever the topic's going to be. Tomorrow, the topic is going to be Dolphin videos. So we sit down, we watch it with the rest of the audience, and then myself, Finite Atticus, and Monkeytail 2002, we just riff on the videos that are up. And it's a lot of fun, and it goes on way too long.
Where do you get
And
the videos from?
YouTube.
Oh, you just put dolphins in as a keyword and just watch as many as you can?
No,
But
he
he
usually
downloads them. Yeah.
The dolphin videos that he's looking for are specifically the people who believe that dolphins have some sort of mystical energy, or that kind, the kind of nascent religion that is
I thought he was
popping up
looking for,
around dolphins. When in truth, they're animals that rape and murder and take
Yeah, I
drugs.
was gonna say. I thought he
You're
was.
taking me down a happy, shiny path only to pummel me in the head.
Yeah.
Christopher
I
should
thought
be on
the
the
show was
show.
about, like, I thought the show was about how dolphins rape and shit.
Yeah, it
That's
will be. But the videos won't be about that. The videos are going to be the women. I've read this poetry of women who write about having sex with dolphins.
Dolphins.
I don't
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be incredibly awkward for starters? And then you gotta, like, how would that. Why would you. Oh, God.
There was that scientist who just recently admitted that she jacked off dolphins to keep them calm.
Okay, like, this is gonna sound fucked up, but jacking them off is one thing, and fucking them is another thing.
Well, you just have to negotiate the right price.
What, like dolphins are the hookers of the sea?
No kissing, but you can jack them off.
Like,
Hooker
no
of the
kissing.
sea.
No.
Delicious dolphin meat in a can.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the dolphin's pimp? Is it like a pirate
They're
with a
free
big
agents.
purple hat?
They're more evolved than us.
I got me some dolphins here. Yes. Hard in the rip.
Yeah, that's what all
Gotta
pirates
kiss
did
the
is when they got a
dolphin.
school of dolphins in front of the ship. Get naked, lads, and jump in. We're gonna get lucky tonight.
Atticus the dolphin pimp.
I'll do.
And when the wives would show up, they go, "No, she be a mermaid, not a dolphin, because that's sick and wrong and against God."
Well, of course they're mermaids for the right price.
How
Just
can they be
slap a
made?
wig
They
on
don't
one.
have. They don't have the materials down below. It's just all fish. Do they have a
Hey, for the
cloaca?
right price, they'll be whatever you want, my man.
Do they spawn?
So I'm
How do
saying.
dolphins even fuck? Like, how does that work?
They have
There's-
a penis that comes
They
out
They
of
have
their
a
body.
penis.
No, I
just
mean,
like
like,
every
how
other
do they?
animal.
What about the females though? Like,
They
do
go
have
up and
belly
they
in
do.
the belly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must
they're
suck
gay
for the one
dolphins.
that's on the bottom.
It's also been observed that they will do blowhole. Males will do males through their anuses and everything else. They're freak
Man.
masters.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
You
that
can't
should be
say
the
no
focus of the
homo when
videos
you're
you
getting on
watch.
with dolphins.
Gay dolphin sex. Yes.
Gay dolphin
I would
sex.
watch that. Yes.
Just
You're gonna
dolphin
watch gay
porn in
dolphin
general.
porn?
I'll watch it.
I did not know that was.
We did not sign up. Jason's
I
all
think
like, I
what we're
didn't
going
sign
to
up.
wind up watching are a bunch of people prattle on and on about how spiritual dolphins are.
Oh, Dolphin, I've got a dolphin figurine on my shelf for good luck, and I sometimes dream about my spirit animal, which is a dolphin, and we make sweet love in the moonlight.
Oh,
Yep, that's pretty much exactly what we're going to watch
hit the
over and
nail
over
right on the head.
until we start making death threats towards Monkey Tail to get him to stop. And
like,
he
"Stop
laughs,
doing
and he's on his couch.
Yeah, well, that's a main premise of the show too, is that Angus chooses the videos and doesn't stop. He chooses how long we watch them. He chooses whether or not we rewind a thing because we want to hear something that we missed. He chooses. Yeah, it's pretty much us being.
I'm gonna
tortured by
imitate
this
what you
guy.
sound like right now.
Yeah,
What's the guy's name again?
Monkey Tail 2002.
The guy that you're talking about right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Monkey Tail likes to control the pace and tone of the conversation. That's what it's.
No, because once we start, we overtalk him all the time.
It's because, well, the thing is, it becomes so torturous after a while listening to people just say, well, this spirit guide is, they have a penis.
Sometimes you just need to fast forward, right?
Yeah, we've
He
done
won't-
crystal healing. What else have we done? We've done crystal healing, UFOs, exorcisms.
We did training videos.
We did training videos, yeah. What were you going to say, Christopher?
I was going to say you should get deep into like the wacky stuff, like Scientology, or like e-meter reading audit sessions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unlimited at this point.
Yeah, it really
yeah,
is.
you can
After doing fairies, people actually believe in fairies. Anything is possible.
Or the cultish behavior
Banana
of
Head?
movements like EST from the 70s.
EST, is that even around anymore?
It's not, but I think that there are videos of it, of people like talking about it.
We did
Or
demon
like-
possession as well. That was fun.
Like Pentecostal preachers, like washing his congregation in the blood of Christ, and like a baptism by fire, and like really weird charismatic characters. There's tons of videos of that.
We
That
did
was
Doomsday Prophecies a couple weeks ago, and John Hagee was on, and we just wanted him to
who's
stop
the other
eating
Doomsday cat?
cheeseburgers.
Hal or something Lindsay. Isn't Hal Lindsay Barney Miller?
Yeah, that's Hal Linden.
Hal
If
Linden.
I had a video of the one time at the porn store, I'd love to put that.
Wait, no, that's not. I can't remember Barney Miller's theme.
Hold on a second. I know it.
Thank you.
Smooth bass.
Ow. Oh, you are awesome. You have to come to every show now.
We're gonna chain you up and make you.
That
I did.
is
He's like,
awesome.
please let me go.
I love that show. I was like 13 when it went off the air, but I know a lot of cops who say if you really want to know what it's like to be a police detective, Barney Miller is the most accurate cop show, because most of their job is sitting in a squad room typing up shit with someone who's with an irate person that you've just arrested or not arrested at all. And he said that's pretty much it. Drinking bad coffee and doing paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Processing.
Mm-hmm.
Processing paperwork. Pushing.
Somebody told me that that's what being a doctor is as well.
What's that? Doing paperwork?
Drinking coffee and doing paperwork.
I wonder if that's what it's like to be a nurse too. Well, probably not. They do.
Well, you're on your feet a little more often, but yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I heard that's also what it's like being a hairless Haitian boy toy.
Because I'm.
I
Whoa.
have one.
Mostly paperwork.
I mentioned the nurse thing because I have
Yeah,
this
that's what the
idea.
Haitian boy toy is like. They didn't tell me there'd be this much paperwork.
Shit.
Where can I get me
But,
one of those?
I'm humoring the idea of becoming a nurse out of revenge.
Why
What?
revenge?
That's the
You do it
worst
help
reason to
people.
become
Because
a nurse.
I know
the
somebody who's a
Most
real
awesome
bitch.
reason.
I know somebody who's a real bitch, and she's a
Mhm.
nursing assistant. So I was like, if I could go to school and become an actual nurse, that would totally be like a one-up in your face thing.
I'll show you. I'm going to go do something that I don't want to do and spend lots of money and spend years of training.
The thing
I'm
is,
going to
I'll
say
be better
people
at
I
it than
don't
you.
want.
if you don't want to be a nurse, then I mean, if you don't love the idea of it, then don't be a nurse.
I don't
But
know if I love the idea or
I
not.
can't tell you how many nurses I know that were like, oh, well, I just needed a job that paid $25 an hour, and then 10 years later, their knees are shot, their brain is shot. They hate every second of it.
They're addicted to drugs. They sell babies. I know they
Oh,
do.
my.
They steal those
They
babies.
take him
and
out of
sell
the
them.
maternity ward, like, oh, Mrs. Johnson doesn't need this.
Yeah.
They sell it to
Did she
atheists.
say? Did she make a yummy noise? Is she gonna cook the baby?
Baby
Oh, yeah.
back ribs. I want the
No.
baby.
I won't miss this one. Yummy, yummy.
You know, certain size crock pots are the perfect size. From what I've heard.
Definitely.
With that
They
voice,
might
it
be
sounds like
called
we're
baby
breaking for a
dolls.
commercial. Hey, folks, if you have a baby that doesn't fit your crock pot, Easter is ruined. That's why Manoware
From the people that brought you the crock pot. This is
and the baby
pot.
broiler.
The baby.
You know what I learned the other day? Hamilton Beach invented the first vibrator,
Yeah.
and that they was first sold to doctors as a way of getting rid of women's
Hysteria.
hysteria.
I have a question.
I thought that was crazy.
It's true and real.
I have
Yeah.
a question. How would you prepare a baby to eat it? Like, do you have to take out all the innards, or do you
Well, you
let
have
it
to,
with
yeah.
flavor?
Well, those are the most delicate parts. That's like the sweetbreads, right? So
Unless
take
you
out
want a
the-
crackling skin, then you would treat it like you would do suckling pig, I guess.
What, like slather it in butter or whatever?
We're all
Oh,
getting
yeah.
arrested. Did
Who
I?
can- Wait, who
There would be
crockpots a suckling pig?
There would be better.
Huh? Suckling, yeah, there would probably be butter unless you're going to coat the skin with like a sugar glaze. And then you slow roast it over a period of.
Do you
I
think
don't
they'd
know,
taste good
couple-
with apple slices, like, in there?
Yeah, you should name this hangout just us talking about recipes for cooking babies, because that's all we
According
do.
recipes for. Yeah, that'll attract a lot of people. A lot of people that I want to attract to our sites, our channels. That's who I want. The baby eaters. They're just sitting alone going, oh, I'm so hungry. I wonder if there's anything on
I
YouTube.
have to get my wife pregnant and wait 9 months, damn it.
Mm.
That's the most inefficient eating method
I
ever.
wish I dated the Octomom.
Babies for
It's like that Twilight episode, right?
I have so much
having
baby
babies
heat.
for dinner.
What? Yeah, it's like the Twilight Zone.
No, like there's a Twilight Zone episode where like Martians come down. It's like
Yeah.
having humans for dinner.
They have a book called To
And
Serve
it's a
Man,
recipe book.
and it's a cookbook.
Serve man. Thank you. To serve babies.
That doesn't work as well. How do you serve a baby? Would Monsieur like a nice milk to go with your strained peas?
Well, you shouldn't boil it in
You
its
would
mother's
appear
milk.
that Monsieur has.
You can't boil it in its mother's milk. It's not
Yeah.
biblical.
Yes, it's not biblical.
What's
Or
not
is it
biblical?
goats? I can't.
Boiling
not
a
boiling
baby
it in its
in its
mother's
mother's
milk.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's wrong. That's totally wrong.
It's
Was
not
that a
biblical.
thing? Apparently, it was a thing back then. They were like,
Here
"Oh,
is
well,
my theory about all of the food things, the very specific things that you had to do to slaughter animals and all that, all the offerings. They were made up by the priests who wanted their food a certain way. So they just started going, well, they leave a lot of food up there, but I don't like the fatty part around the liver. Make sure they cut that off. Okay, we'll make it a law. We'll say God told us to not include the fat around the liver. Because if you read the Bible, it's just all of these
it's a
very...
cookbook."
it's basically how to cook and prepare food that the priests will like. Because it's so specific and arbitrary, and it's like, wait, God doesn't want the fat around the liver? If he doesn't want fat around the liver, then why didn't he just make the animals without fat around the liver? Why am I? That's what probably the guys who are cutting up the goats saying, well, I guess we're going to do it the way God says. Why didn't he just make them like...
You're also not allowed to eat the offering, though, are you? It's supposed to. You wouldn't
Well,
throw it away, right?
After everyone leaves the synagogue, who's going to be watching?
That's all I'm saying.
The Lord will be watching.
All the priests are huge. They're like, God demands more lamb.
Don't boil it in the milk. You curdled it last time. Make that a law.
Yeah,
Make
don't.
that
I hate that. I hate it. I hate you. I hate the guy who wears more than 2 kinds of cloth. That's disgusting. I hate the guy who always is eating the fresh seafood. And I
the
hate
two
that
guys
gay
keep
guy.
fucking each other. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think you have a really good. I think you have a good point about the food, though. I think the first mirepoix recipe is in the Bible, isn't it? I mean, they're like a little celery, a little onion,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you chop
there's an
it up
abortion
nice.
recipe too, isn't there?
carrot. What's
Yeah,
that?
there's a recipe that you can make something that will cause a woman to abort her fetus.
See, that's what they were doing. They wanted to eat the baby. They said, "Get
See,
it
there
out of
were
there."
abortions, so like, why can't we get abortions now? Like, I would totally have an abortion, except for I
Well,
don't
they
need
mean
one.
something to hate. That's the thing.
Yeah, people. Yeah, they gotta
Maybe
be
they want
indignant
their
about
voodoo
something.
witch doctor to do it. You know, you got to mix up the magical potion.
I haven't heard anyone say, "How come you don't let our voodoo witch doctors do it yet?" I don't. I don't see signs on the pro-life side saying no to abortion, yes to voodoo witch doctors.
I will get that sign, and I will make that sign, and I will do that. Just
How
as
to
a
how to get
joke.
rid of your leprosy as well.
Yeah, which doesn't work. They have lots
Didn't
of
they
diseases.
think
to cure.
I
peacock
want to try
blood
it.
would cure that at some point?
Yeah, you
Peacock.
sprinkle it on the altar, and then you dance around, and I don't know,
And then your
eat an
dick
aborted
falls off.
fetus.
Yeah, but none of that stuff counts because of the New Testament. Remember?
Well, some of it still counts depending on which church you belong to.
Or how crazy you are, or what you
Yeah.
just personally don't like, and you want to use a religious text to try to give your words more oomph, your opinions more
Well,
oomph.
I don't
Well,
like
my
the
I'm
Hare
sorry. Yeah.
Krishnas because I'm a Pastafarian. Should I outlaw them?
Hmm? You want to outlaw Hare Krishnas?
Hare Krishnas, because they're the mortal enemies of the Pastafarians.
Are they?
Yes, haven't you ever read the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster?
I don't read any
Hare
Gospels anymore,
The
lady.
Hare Krishnas were originally ninjas who set out to wipe out the Pastafarians.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't believe that either. And I don't believe in
Do you want to hear
flying
the story of
spaghetti
Noah and the pirate? I can proselytize the shit out of that. Like get all the
No, that
evangelical
sounds as
advocates.
boring as shit.
No, it's like
my
like-
cousin is a not only an ordained minister, but he went through quote unquote an apologetics school. Basically, he's learning jackassery in school. And he explained to me that the reason the things that they keep from the Old Testament are because of they call it the moral law, the dietary law, and the priestly law.
Mhm.
And underneath each one of these, they select certain laws that they wanted to keep from the Old Testament. So if it's the moral law, you would go, oh, well, the reason we keep the gay stuff is because of the moral law. The reason we keep the priestly law is to keep the priests in line. And then I'm sitting there going, okay, so a bunch of jackasses got together and arbitrarily chose some things that they wanted to keep from the Old Testament, even though the law has been abolished.
Yeah. They did that. They had to get together and agree what was going to be not only in the Old Testament, but
500 years later.
in the New Testament too.
Mm.
There was lots where they said, well, this conflicts with this, and this guy kind of likes women, so let's keep this guy's gospel out completely, and we'll
And
just
this guy hates women. Let's keep him.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
let
keep
him
him.
write half of it. Half of it. He can write half of it.
right.
yeah. I was
Okay,
thinking of something, but
I'm
then
gonna
I
leave you two to play for a second, and I'll be right back.
Okay,
Well,
I promise not to hurt him too much.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Aw.
So you got a mohawk recently?
Yes, I have a mohawk.
Now, why did you get rid of all those luscious locks?
I know, I liked them too, but I was like, I want a mohawk, and I got it. And I figured out when I do stuff like this, it helps my confidence.
Hmm. I like
It'll
it.
grow back anyway.
Yeah, it's just hair. It's just dead skin cells sprouting out of your head.
Keratinized cells. Is it really dead?
Who?
No, the hair.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought-
dead. It's dead keratinized cells. It's it sprouts out of the shit. The more drinking, the less education. Sorry. Yeah, they're dead cells.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I won't feel so bad bleaching it in the future then.
Yeah, well,
Bleaching what? Your hair?
your
Yeah.
fingernails are also dead cells.
Yeah. But you can make your follicles get tired if you over dye your hair.
Yeah, I've been holding off even though my roots are not black anymore.
And they discovered what causes gray hair. You actually produce a chemical in your follicle that protects your hair, and as you get older, you stop producing this chemical, which causes your hair to lose its color, or something along those lines. I'm not sure.
Oh, I actually saw some gray hairs while cutting my hair the other day. It was awful.
Oh no, poor Eddie.
Yeah.
Patty's all of 12 years old, and he's already
I
worried.
am 33. I'm older than Queenie.
I'm only 28. I'm such a youngster.
That's
But
not.
like you've got a lot more going on for you than I do. Like you have good channel content.
Oh,
Who are you talking
yeah, but
to?
you know what? She's talking to me, but that's the
Oh.
thing, though. I
You
love
both
your
have good
tattoos.
channel content.
I love your honesty, and I love your hair.
You know, I had an idea for a thing I could try.
What's that?
Well, I'm going to get copies of all of my medical records, and I was thinking if I could remember instances surrounding each entry into my medical records, I could use it as filler for a book about myself.
What?
Best way to write about yourself is just to write about yourself. Why do you need
Yeah.
your medical
I
record?
can't think in a linear pattern.
Sure you can.
You know what? It took me months before I put together how I was going to do my series.
I just sort of blurt things out, but I thought it would be neat and sort of a, I guess a more in-depth look into certain circumstances, a perspective other than mine. Because, you know, it'd be like doctors and stuff. Of course, I'd blot out certain information, like probably my name and things like my social and all this stuff. But I thought it would be a really neat idea for a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great frame.
The thing is, if you start to write about yourself, I forgot what type of writing it's called, where you just sort of write.
It's called autobiography.
No. I'm sorry, a different type of writing where you just sort of write whatever comes to mind, and you keep writing.
Stream
and no
of
matter.
consciousness.
Yes, that's the one. That's what I did at first, and then I put it in order, and I realized that all you got to do is make sure that it sort of fits together and it's in the right order, and it worked out pretty well.
That's what the medical records are for.
Oh, all right. So it's going to help you.
She's going to use it as a frame to hang the rest of the story on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell it on YouTube.
I will, probably. I gotta figure out who was that guy who said he'd publish a book if I ever wrote one.
Everybody.
What, like everybody would publish my book?
I would hand it out as a pamphlet.
Your
A
book
really
or
big
her book?
pamphlet.
I thought about writing a book out of what I've already done, because I already have, Actually, what's crazy is I only have, for each video, it's never more than 7 or 8 pages. So, if you count 14 videos, I mean, what's that in math? I'm bad at math.
I said it once and I'll say it again. Print is dead. YouTube is the only forward-thinking medium now.
Well, then I'll read my book out loud for people to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay. Just do them as monologues.
Yeah, I'll read off the medical record and then say whatever I was doing at the time.
Yeah. And by the way, when you asked, is she talking about my channel or yours? And I said, no, she's talking about mine. You still make excellent
You
content.
do. I still want to get back to being autumnal because that was pretty cool.
Someone asked Autumnal a question, but unfortunately they didn't get selected. I have stuff planned for Autumnal, but there's just so much. Right now I'm doing a whole lot of set work and getting infrastructure for the show.
Yeah.
I have new editing software coming and a whole bunch of other stuff.
What kind?
I'm getting one that's actually for my camera. It's going to be what did I order? Studio. Sony. It's Sony's, whatever it is.
Sony Vegas?
That might be it.
That's all right. Cool. That's
I'll
actually
be right
an
back.
excellent,
I'm gonna go
excellent
smoke.
software. I've seen it used. I use Final Cut.
We're losing her to nicotine.
Oh, you can't smoke in the room,
Yeah.
damn it! I'm smoking.
No, I can't smoke in my
I'm
apartment.
steaming. I'm
Well,
from
I
the
don't know.
future.
I'm smoking real cigarettes because that's how I make my voice sexy.
That's what Yul Brenner said, and then he said,
He said, "Does my head look like a penis?" Sorry.
No,
Go
he
ahead.
didn't. He said, "I don't want you to smoke because I smoked and now I'm going to die." Do you remember that? He went on TV and said, "Don't smoke, kids. I smoked like a chimney." And then
Now,
like
was
2 years
that
later, he died.
before they released the information proving that it causes cancer?
When did they release that? It was
53.
It was after.
Oh, okay. Now, I think at that point, tobacco companies were still fighting against the ruling.
Are you kidding me? They still had commercials in the 60s telling people that it was healthy to smoke. They still had frickin' doctors on television telling people it was healthy to smoke.
More doctors smoke Camel filterless constantly because it's good during pregnancy to smoke cigarettes.
It's good. Some people said it keeps the baby weight down, so it's easier to have a baby.
What the fuck? Your baby's just retarded. Thing.
Now here's the thing. You know how we're all supposed to be healthy and safety conscious and all that other bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any goddamn difference. It doesn't between the food, the tobacco, the air quality. It doesn't matter.
You're gonna
they paint the past as if we're lucky that our grandparents and parents managed to survive. Even me, my kids don't have the freedoms that I had when I was growing up. And I'm sorry, someone's trying to sell me something. But I was free to go out and run around and do whatever. And hey, mister, put your pants back on and do whatever. But, and two people didn't even think twice about it. Now kids are locked up and they're like, here, tape this video game to your face and watch television and don't go outside no matter what you do. And you know what? I think that we're a poor country for it.
I poke at that during my deconversion series whenever I say this was back when, this was back before all 9-year-olds had a cell phone, or this is back when kids could just stay out all night and not worry that every stranger on the street was a pedophile.
Oh, are you kidding me? If I had a cell phone when I was 10 years old in 1979, I would never come home. I would just call my mom as it was starting to get dark and go, Mom, Johnny and I are going to play Star Wars and
yeah, but back,
so we're going to eat a bunch of sugar, and we're going to watch the Dukes of Hazzard marathon, and then we're going to experimentally touch our dicks together. Bye, click. And that would be...
The great thing about even my childhood was you didn't have to make that phone call. It was just 2 streets down, your mother went, hey, where are you? And then you're like, oh, that's my mom. And then you called over and went, hey, yeah, I'm fine. I'm over at Billy's house.
And then you pull your pants up after awkwardly touching it with your friends. And then you run home.
But I did all that stuff.
Awkward for you, maybe. It informed the rest of my life. Just ask my wife and children.
It definitely informed mine.
Right. But Ted Haggard had a wife and children.
My rule was... my rule was... I could do whatever I wanted so long I was home by dinner, which was around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
and that my chores were done. If those two things were met, I had an ungodly amount of freedom as compared to kids who grew up in the aughts and the 90s. Because the kids who grew up in the aughts, man, I'm surprised that they're not scared of fucking everything. Because there were lots of kids who never... my brothers grew up in the 90s predominantly. There's a big gap between... there's 14 years between me and my brother Matt. And they didn't seem to have as much autonomy, but they had more than this current batch. Yeah. They've been told to be afraid of fucking everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. Yes, there are things to be afraid of, but it's not... As far as I understand, the instances of the things that they're worried about are actually going down. They're going south.
Incredibly down.
Yeah, and you may know where all the child molesters are because you can look at it on a map. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the likelihood of anything happening to your kid is extremely low. It's tragic when it does happen, but... And
isn't it like a large percentage of the kids that do get molested by a family, friend, or relative?
Yes, that is actually very true.
So it's kind of like you're protecting them by keeping them home. I'm going to keep you home with Uncle Barney. I don't
Uncle
like it. It's
Touchy.
slippery. Good old Uncle Touchy.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Put the finger puppet on Uncle Touchy. That's not your finger, Uncle Touchy. But, I mean, I didn't have a babysitter. We were latchkey kids when I was growing up.
I had a babysitter. She was actually really cool.
Was
She had like rock star Tiffany hair, and she would play Legos with me. And
Oh, fuck. I'm old
Yeah.
enough to be one of your babysitters. I'm 15 years older than you. So
Oh, jeez.
I could have been one of your
I don't
baby.
count births. I don't count birthdays anymore.
Really? You gave up already?
Yeah, I gave already. It's like, fuck it, whatever.
Was it the one lonely birthday when you turned 30 and no one came and you were just sitting there?
No,
With a big
everybody.
cake
Oh, my
and-
30th birthday, I got 104 likes on my page. I was happy.
Aww.
Yeah, and my mom called me, and my ex-wife called me.
All I'm saying
I
is that if I didn't have the upbringing that I had, I wouldn't have moved out of my house when I was 18.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
you get a stupid kind of confidence when you're allowed to do whatever you want when you're a kid. It's not surprising that a lot of people are staying home longer because they don't know anything about the rest of the goddamn world.
Yeah.
Or at least they don't know that they can't do it. You know what I mean? I literally packed up my Volkswagen Bug like after an argument with my mom, and she was like, "Bye," and I was like, "Bye," and I lived with a friend for about a month, and then I got my own apartment.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
never
the other
moved
thing
back
is,
home.
the cost of living is much higher than it used to be now. That is a factor, and I try to take that into account when people tell me, "Oh, well, I
When
live
you
with
throw
my
your
dad."
children out of the house.
Yeah, my son is turning 18 in 2 years, and I want nothing more than to go and kick him and be with my ex-wife, just be like, get the fuck out. But it's not gonna happen. Well, no, it's just he's lazy, plays video games all day. He does all right in school, and
Yeah, you and me, we both have one, except mine's going to be turning 21 soon.
I still don't think that's again, I mean, you live in California, right?
Yeah.
So the cost of living is even higher than where I live in Mass. So
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying desperately not to sound like an old person when I talk to him, because I'm like, when I was 21, I was doing stand-up comedy. I had my own apartment and a full-time job. What's your problem? You just play video games all day and sleep.
I try to avoid that too. I want to say those things.
It's
Like I said,
unavoidable. You
Yeah.
can't. It's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
You're like, when I was a kid, I didn't have the internet. When I wanted to find something out, I had to look up in a phone book. And then your child goes, "What's a phone book?"
And
That's
I had to-
great.
I had to walk to this fucking place that was really big, and it had lots of books, called a library, to research stuff.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Queenie
my-
doesn't know what one of those things are.
I do too. I love libraries.
Yeah. No, libraries are quiet. They have Wi-Fi now, but I look at the books too, which is amazing because
They're doomed.
They're doomed. I know it's
They're
terrible.
fucking doomed. I'm sorry, but bookstores, what happened to those? I told my son 4 years ago, because he loves books, he loves reading, and I told him, don't. Books aren't going to be around for much longer. There'll be specialty shops, just like there are specialty record stores. But don't expect, because he's like, I'm going to get a job at Borders. 3 years ago, Borders closed. Barnes & Noble is gone.
Yeah,
There are
Borders-
there are no print booksellers in my hometown right now, and in the greater expanded area,
Yeah,
because
we
the
have
market's
we have
not
a-
there anymore. We've
That's
gone
right.
digital, just like with our music has gone digital.
Yeah.
And it's not like with movies, there's still the movie-going experience. You have to go, sit down, eat popcorn. It's on a gigantic screen. There was no shared book experience. Tons, except for maybe like the Harry Potter releases, where everyone was waiting in line to get a Harry Potter book or something like that.
I did that.
I did
I-
that too for my kids.
Yeah, I rarely go to the movies now anymore, and I used to love going to them. I loved the movie experience, and waiting in line, and then you go to see it on opening night. You're like, oh, I got to see it on opening night, and it was a great movie. And now it's not It's not the same anymore. It's
That's because movies suck and I'm old.
yes.
Now get off my lawn.
I was thinking. Is that what it is? I'm getting old.
Yes, you're getting fucking old. You're gonna sit on your balls next.
Well, no, I already did that the other day.
Welcome to old person town.
I can't wait until I'm old enough to sit on my balls. Oh wait.
If you grow balls, that would be
Go sit on Tinky's balls.
I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate that.
Oh.
I want my own balls to sit on. Why can't I have balls too?
Are we
If
going
you
back
don't,
to
in 10
this
years,
about you wanting
the thing is, in 10 years you will be able to get a pair if you want.
Yeah,
They'll just grow them in a lab, and you'll be like, boop, and then you'll have balls.
My only thing is, like, let's say
That's what they'll call them. Boots
The
balls.
most scientific sound dude could come up with.
But,
Boop.
Ladies, did you ever want something that's uncomfortable, kind of feels stuck on and gets sweaty and is gross, and you just want to hack
Those
it
are
off with a
called-
cleaver half the
those are
time?
called
No, see,
boobs.
Queenie has penis envy. That's the thing.
No, the thing is, like, let's say I was trans, and I wouldn't know this or for whatever. Like, I don't know anything about the issue, but like, let's say I was trans.
Okay.
What would I even be able to do about it? Because with the condition of schizophrenia, what doctor would take me seriously?
I don't know.
Like,
If you got the right
never
doctor,
be
I think
able-
that
I
they
would never be like, as far as I'm concerned right now, because I honestly think I'm a transvestite trapped in a woman's body, and
Well, anyone can be a transvestite.
I
Yeah.
think I'm a man
mean
who likes
you're a
to dress as a woman.
You believe that you're a transsexual trapped in a woman's body?
Well, if I
Yes.
was
Oh, okay,
transsexual,
yeah.
I could just be transsexual.
No, because a transvestite is someone who dresses as the opposite gender.
Oh,
But
because
the
I thought I was a
transsexual
man
is
dressing
someone
as a
who-
woman.
Or
So
a
I
woman
think I'm-
dressing as a man.
I think I'm a man who likes to dress as a woman trapped in a woman's body, which is complicated.
You just
do
want a
you,
penis.
do you honestly believe that you are a man? That's the difference.
I think I'm a very effeminate man.
I would take a professional to figure all that out.
Yeah.
If that's
I
what
don't
you
know.
say, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe that you believe that you're a man. That's not, that's not uncommon. There are plenty of people who feel that way, and then they get gender reassignment.
Yeah.
The thing is,
and
with
I think it would be.
schizophrenia, I don't think my odds are that would be
unless
really
they felt
good.
that your schizophrenia was related to your gender confusion.
Yeah, it takes years of therapy before they'll even decide to give you the sex change as well.
You have to do that. Then you have to dress as the opposite gender.
Live.
Or you have to live that way. You have to dress and act like a man in public all the time and at home all the time. And they do that.
I don't even act like and dress like a man all the time. I mean, that's a burden.
Yeah. Who wants to do
I
that?
sat on my balls the other day, God.
Being a man sucks. But to answer your question, if you want to know what it's like, since you brought it up, take your tits, shrink them, and then stick them down there, and never be able to close your legs again without fear of accidentally hurting yourself.
Poof.
Oh my!
Evidence that the human penis is.
And that's right. And then
not.
cover them with the worst hair in the animal kingdom. It's not soft, it's not nice, it's not even really curly. It's just kind of a craggly lightning bolts of hair shooting out all over the place.
Here comes Firefly. Here comes Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah, apparently I've got a different. Is my video coming through or not?
No,
No,
just
but the
you're
mic
just
is.
you hanging off a building like Spider-Man.
Weird.
Every time I see that picture of you, it looks like you've just been born and you're hanging by an umbilical cord.
Weird. I don't know why my camera's not working. Yeah,
No, but
whatever.
at least your mic is working this time, though.
That is true.
Ah.
That is an improvement over how it usually is.
But as far as the whole gender thing, I would settle with just not having boobs anymore.
Well, that's easy.
I don't want a pair of boobs, so occasionally I do wonder what it's like to have a vagina.
Really?
It's not that
Yeah.
interesting as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
I don't know. It's just with the amount of things that I have put in my anus.
well,
I
as
would-
far
you
as I
yeah,
know,
I'm just wondering what that's like. Is it just,
well, I guess it depends because from what I understand, every woman's vagina is different. Now, I was blessed with a very well kept vagina,
Okay.
and
So, did you have a man that stops by every other day to trim?
no.
To clean around your vagina and sweep the gutter and make sure there are no leaves on the roof?
No yeast growing in the corner. Yee.
Well manicured vagina for sale.
No, it's well kept, like the way
Well,
it's constructed.
Yeah, I think
And
that I
then it
would.
sounds like an old woman's been keeping it under a cloth in her garage for the last 30 years.
No. The only reason I'm thinking is just because of the how a female orgasm looks. It looks like it is 10 times more amazing than a male orgasm.
And 500 times harder to get one.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, I would just sit there with fucking dildos and carrots and just whatever the fuck.
Oh my god!
Hopefully not the carrots you're gonna eat later.
I'll eat.
You would wreck yourself. You would have so many yeast infections and bacterial
Greater
infections.
work? God damn it! Why isn't the scouring pad working?
I'm getting the cheese grater.
Oh my god.
No. Get me the wood rasp.
That's terrible.
No. But seriously, just the orgasm looks so good that I have to wonder what.
Are you going by porn or by experience?
No, by experience. I would remember my ex's face contorting in such a way that it looked. Yeah, and the
Must
noise
not
and
make joke.
that she's faking it. Is that what
You know you want to.
Let's hear the joke.
No, I'm not gonna. You just said contort her face contorting. There are lots of ways to contort a face. A contorted face can mean several different things, not just sexual ecstasy.
I don't know. When the thing is, if she would roll over and be like meh, then I would know that it didn't really happen. But then if she was like, oh, all right, I'm going to sleep now, and then fall asleep, then I'd be like, okay, that's a better indication that I did right. I did okay.
You mean them crying and saying this won't work and leaving the house is wrong? I thought that was how you knew you're a good
Wait
lover.
a second. Everybody doesn't cry during sex?
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
what I thought too.
I tried after
Making
the
sure.
first time.
It's not normal to curl up into a ball and wonder if you're actually fucking the right sex after sex with a woman. That's not.
No, I did that.
Oh, okay. Because I've been doing that my whole life.
But then Jesus, came into my life and told me that I needed to fix.
I had a girlfriend that told me that their first sexual thoughts were in church, staring at Jesus on the cross.
He's a hot
Hey.
Jesus these days.
Do you think? Do you
And
think
my
it's hard
first
for him to?
response was, "You looked at a dead guy and got horny." And she's like,
Necrophilia.
We're
he's
not
not
looking
totally
at that.
dead.
We're looking at the abs.
Do you think
Oh
he
my
can
god!
Do you think he can stick his dick in the holes in his hands?
No.
Or in this the
Or
hole.
the hole in the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No one can do that. How could you contort your way to do that?
Well, you know what? I saw a movie a couple of weeks ago called Hanger. Have you ever heard of this movie?
I'm
Where-
going to say no.
Okay, and you should watch it and review it with Steve.
I'm not going to.
It's on Netflix. Watch it anyway, just for fun. Where a guy fucks another guy in his colostomy hole.
You told us this
Ew.
last week.
I did.
Yes. Oh, it's so gross.
I think I forgot the name of the movie. That's why I just named it.
I think I forgot it too on purpose.
So yeah, spear in the side. Yeah, that's okay.
Because then we went right into wound fucking again. Which for some reason this seems to be the topic of conversation that keeps coming
Should we
up.
go back to the baby recipes?
No!
Baby back, baby back, chili, baby back, rib.
Speaking
Fuck
of
Mike Myers. What?
eating babies, I need to get going.
Oh,
And,
bye!
All right, well, it's
Hunt
good.
down,
Coming in.
kill, and eat.
No, don't do it. I don't want to talk to the cops again.
Oh, well, all I gotta say is just like veal. The more they suffer, the more delicious it is. All right, good night, everyone.
Good night, thanks,
Yeah.
Christopher. He's nice. I like him.
We should invite him on the show. But I think that he ran away. I think we chased him.
I think another person ran away after you broke up the fucking the colostomy hole story.
No, he was laughing the whole time.
This is how Atticus ends Thanksgiving. He's like, I don't know. Grandma, this turkey's great. Did I tell you my colostomy hole story?
Who wants to jizz in the gravy?
He's been telling that story since he was 5 at the kiddie table.
That's why I had no friends.
Thanksgiving ends when the rest of the children cry.
I would be your friend. I would sit at the table with you.
He was laughing the whole time. It is kind of late though.
Is it?
Kind of late.
Where I am, it's 11. Yeah.
It's only 8:50 over here.
Where do you work?
Me?
Yeah, do you work tomorrow?
No, I don't. Tomorrow I'm
Wait, is your mom telling me it's bedtime?
No.
Aren't you a man in control of your own shit? You're like, oh dear, the Tonight Show's gonna be on in a half an hour, and I gotta be in bed by then.
No. I was just my daughter's actually sleeping on the couch nearby, and
is she?
Yeah.
Do you think if we're loud enough, we can wake her up?
Maybe.
How old is she?
She's 7.
Oh, does she know about Santa yet?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Let's end that right now. Hey, wake up, kid!
I gotta ruin something for Atticus because Monkey Tail tortures me, taking it out on me.
10 years ago, Santa Claus died in a Russian gulag.
You know what? She knows what a Russian gulag is too.
Well, then she's exceptionally smart then.
No, she saw the new Muppets movie. There was a scene.
Yes.
He's locked in a Russian gulag. With
what won't those Muppets teach us?
I
hope venereal disease is next. If they're gonna teach us about Russian gulags. Hey, Piggy!
Yeah, it had Josh Brolin.
My penis kind of itches. What?
Josh Brolin was locked in a sealed cell the whole time during the movie, and you don't. And my daughter kept looking at me because I was looking at the screen, going, "Oh, all right, it's Josh Brolin." She goes, "How do you know that by the voice? Because you can't see his face through the whole movie."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at the end, during the ending fanfare with the Muppets, he comes out and starts singing, and I was like, I fucking knew it. Yeah.
You like Josh Brolin, don't you?
I like his voice. I would fuck his voice if that were possible.
Just stick your dick in his mouth hole.
Oh my god, everything is about fucking with you.
I'm like the complete.
I will say I did not like the last movie I saw with him in it, though.
What movie was that?
It was the remake of Old Boy.
Oh, really?
Oh, Old Boy? I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
New one, I mean.
Well, I will say it does bring us back to that topic of fucking, though.
Oh my god.
Spoilers, he ends up fucking his daughter.
Yeah, that was in the original.
Yeah, that was in the original.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Jason threw up in his mouth a little bit.
I threw up a little bit and it tasted good. It was like chicken and vegetables.
Yeah.
You said it's okay to hang out, and now
I was kind of thinking it was like an okay film, and then that part happened. I'm like, okay, I feel like
it was enough. I was okay with it until that part, and then it was like it lost me. I think that was the intent. In the original end of that one is that's the big shocking thing.
Yeah, that was pretty disgusting.
What? Luke and Leia fuck, and no one said peep.
They did not fuck.
They fucked.
Yeah, and you know what? I think what's crazy is I didn't
She
realize...
was like, we got a long way to get back to the rebels. You just had your hand cut off. It's obvious you've been traumatized. I'm now single because my boyfriend's frozen. What do you think they did the whole way? And Lando filmed it.
You see,
like,
I would have thought it would have happened while they were on the Millennium Falcon there, in between movies.
Mm-hmm.
In between 4 and 5. Because, I mean, who else is there? Okay, well, there's Han, yeah, but otherwise there's the big furry guy.
Nope, it has to be
between
between 5
droids.
and 6. It has to be between 5 and 6, because Han is out of the picture.
That's true.
And then she tries to play it off at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
He's
but that's
my
after
brother.
that's
Yeah.
after she had a back alley abortion on Coruscant. Good night, everybody.
When that would be such a dick move to end the show on that.
did it
Or
with
to
a
end,
code.
how about to end the trilogy with that?
They oh. J.J. Abrams is like, I got to add that to the movie. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in. Now that Harrison Ford's out with his ankle injury, I got to think of something.
Did they announce the director for the next two after that, though?
I think so. I don't know. I believe so.
I think he has a 3-movie deal. Probably.
He
I've
has a
heard that
producing deal. He has a 3-movie producing deal, but he may not direct them all.
Well,
yeah, it was one of those things on the trending thing on Facebook today that I.
yeah.
saw.
One of the other things I heard was that they're going to do, they're going to do prequels like about just about Han Solo or just about Yoda or just about.
They're going to be standalone movies, and the first one is Boba Fett, and they announced the director for that.
Okay. All right.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah,
Okay. Who's that?
the guy who directed Godzilla.
The new Godzilla?
And Looper.
Yeah,
Okay. Are
And
they going to
yeah.
have lots of lens flares?
that's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, well, he's producing. So fuck you! You're putting that in there.
No, he promises there will be no lens flares. Here's the thing: J.J. Abrams loves Star Wars a lot more than Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, he did such an excellent job with Star Trek.
And if you watched Super 8, Super 8 is a love letter to Steven Spielberg.
I loved that movie.
That movie apes almost all of Steven Spielberg's cinematic style. All the tricks that Spielberg uses are in that movie. It feels like a Spielberg movie without Spielberg directing it. J.J. Abrams is going to make as close to the Star Wars that he loves as possible, and that Star Wars is the original 3.
Please don't let it be the writing or acting, though.
He's writing.
No, not emulating George Lucas's writing. No, that's the thing.
Well, he only wrote of the original. He only wrote the first one, and then he storied the other 2. But a lot of his story stuff got thrown out by the other writers that were brought in.
Yeah, actually, Empire Strikes Back was well written, and I mean,
He didn't write it.
yeah, that's what I mean. It was pretty well written. I liked that one.
Mhm.
Just the love scenes were really good. I liked the the sexual tension scenes.
That was
between-
Lawrence Kasdan, and he's writing these movies
Oh
with
wow!
with J.J. Abrams.
And the
Please,
famous
yes.
line of "I know" was actually improvised.
That was improvised by Harrison Ford. There was originally a monologue in there.
And then they tried filming it a couple of times, and it's like, no, this just isn't working. Harrison, just say what seems natural.
Well, Harrison said, I know what I want to say. Harrison does that a lot when he's sick or he's bored. Because apparently on Empire, he was begging George Lucas to kill off his character. He hates Han Solo.
Oh.
So I fully expect to see Han Solo die in these next films.
Well, he broke his ankle already. You know, he's getting prepared.
He's getting prepared to die.
I hope he actually dies. That would be funny.
I really hate to say this, but I find nothing more boring than talking about Star Wars. I have Star
All right,
Wars
so
myself out.
Back to
And
fucking
the
colostomy.
internet has Star Wars itself out. The only people who are still doing it are the fanboys who have their hands clutched around their penis whenever you say Star Wars so they can madly start masturbating.
Wait, let me
I
click
like
my
Star
thing.
Wars.
Oh, wait, no.
Star Wars was very influential when I was a kid, but the prequels killed that in me to the point in which I'm just like, Star Wars was nah.
I did enjoy Revenge of the Sith, though. I thought it was really well.
Fuck you. I hate you now. Get off of this channel.
Oh, come on. Come on. It was better than the other two.
That's not saying a lot. That's kind of like
About the
saying that
best you can say
strychnine
about
is
them.
better than arsenic.
No, arsenic is better. It takes longer to kill you.
Oh my.
Makes your hair fall out first. Makes you anemic. Like those children in the attic.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
What?
I really hope we're not going back to fucking.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
thank God.
Okay.
Thank God.
If there's anything you can expect from me, is that those two things will not be put together in a conversation.
That
Even
peanut
as a-
butter and that chocolate will never be a combination
No,
that
no,
tastes
no.
great together.
No. However, making jokes about Schindler's List is perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
apparently drunkenly joking about Schindler's List, and then writing in Skype, "Hey, I fucking making a joke about Schindler's List."
No, I said I was so drunk I can't believe I made a joke about Schindler's List.
Finite Atticus, amnesiatic comic.
Yeah, but the funnier part is that you said you loved it.
It was hilarious. I can't even remember what it was.
I think I was talking about Eamon Goth shooting people from his balcony.
Oh my God, yeah, it was so bad.
It was
You may
like
as well have been making jokes about the little girl in the red
know.
coat.
I didn't even remember saying it until the next day when I listened to the Hangout while I was at work. I was like, "Oh my fuck! I can't believe I said that. That's nothing I wouldn't say. That's nothing I would say sober." And then I was like, "Okay, well, I still have subscribers. I still have people listening to me."
You sound
Until you checked your subscriber. Oh, thank God they don't watch the show.
Yeah.
It was deep in there. Someone would have to be committed to the show to get
and then
to
they'd
that.
have to be committed to being offended.
Yeah, but that's the
And
thing.
believe
though.
me,
If they
that's
don't-
what YouTube is. Schizophrenic Queen are
It's
people
committed to
who are
being
committed
offended?
to being offended at things.
Well, if anybody ever gets offended at me and I think it's ridiculous, I'm just gonna be like, fuck you. I don't have to apologize for shit.
I don't respond to anything. It's not.
Really?
It's pointless. When I see something and then they write something like, "Hey, you were wrong about this. Get a life." I'm like, you just wrote a meaningless comment on a YouTube channel, and you're telling me to get a life. The comments are self-defeating.
You are so much better than me at the whole.
I'm
Second
older.
tier
I'm older, and I've seen
You're
so
older.
much bullshit, and
And
so
you've got
many.
a-
reminds me of the Louis C.K.
You're older, you're wiser, and you've sat on your balls.
Wiser has nothing to do with it. You just
the sitting on
fucking
your balls
you
part,
get to a point if you're lucky. Here's what happens with men usually. If you're lucky, when you reach 45, you realize that nothing matters anymore. There are important things, and when it comes to the internet, there are unimportant things. And people commenting on stuff, or having a different opinion, or thinking different things, or believing certain stuff, is just doesn't mean anything. You walk away from your computer, and then you're watching, world's funniest home videos or something. You've forgotten all about it. It hasn't changed anything about your life. Or you turn 45 and those comments become so important that you die of a heart attack shortly thereafter because you just can't handle it.
Yeah, I think I've given up on being offended by trolls. Yeah. No,
I'm
did
still
you guys
pretty
get
opinion-
spammed by that guy who sent the video of him doing reading the John chapter 3?
Yeah, I ignored it. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, you poor guy. You're spamming a bunch of people as you read the Bible at me, and I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but
I think that this is the moment that I realized no matter what you write, it just doesn't matter. I'm going to go to sleep tonight and forget that person exists.
it was the equivalent of junk mail. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't fly into a rage when I get the Sunday Saver that I didn't ask for crammed into my mailbox. But those people are doing the same thing as that guy was doing.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't
I
get
commented
angry at
on
trolls
a
because I
thread
know
for
most
a
of
while.
them.
Yeah,
Well, I
Atticus, you're
commented on-
Canadian too, right?
No, I'm from Massachusetts actually.
Who
But
else
I
is
was born in Maine. Is that close enough?
No,
Oh,
okay,
I'm Canadian. Hey, I'm totally Canadian. I've been lying this
No.
whole
What are
time.
you guys talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I must be getting you confused. I must be getting you confused with logic. Yeah.
No, you're getting it confused with Armored.
Him
Well,
too.
they're both
Yes.
Canadian.
Are they
Logic did not
both?
skeptic. I know
Yeah,
Logic
when Armored gets drunk, his Canadian comes out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
comes a little boot.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like this last episode that I uploaded, someone left the comment, You know how at the end of my shows I do that whole things you could have
Trudeau?
done instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Trudeau. Someone wrote, I could have watched a better video by Thunderfoot. Now, that's when
That
I
was
read that, I
totally
was
too
like,
offensive.
wait. Are you trying to, one, get me angry? Or two, is this a real criticism? Or three, are
joke.
you just, yeah, or is it a
Yeah.
joke or whatever? So I just used it.
I
just
would
took
have
it.
too.
It was funny.
Because, again, I mean, it's just like, I don't know what your intentions are, so how am I supposed to get upset about something like that? And then, very few people, I don't have that many trolls because I just don't engage.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just
too
don't do that.
passionate and stuff. I need to figure out how to be either a really tough bitch or to just not give a shit anymore.
See, every time I read a troll comment, I see a 13-year-old. And I
I
remember
think
what
13's a little too.
when I picture,
generous.
huh? You
I think
picture
13's a little too generous.
No,
was
I
thinking
just
11 or
picture
12.
I picture a 13-year-old who's like, if they're older than that, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. When I created the internet troll character, I pegged him as being 13, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't even know if I wouldn't have been doing that when I was 13 years old.
If
Because
you'd had the internet back then, Grandpa.
middle-aged school children are beasts. They are
Yes, they are.
They are hormonal. That's why we cage them for 2 to 3 years in their own schools, because they're just horrors. This is why tribal societies send these children away when they turn 13. Go out into the woods and see if you can survive, because
And
they
kill
don't want them
lions.
fucking
Yeah.
living in the tribe with them, because all they do is gripe and complain and sleep and gripe some more, and they're just a big bundle of hormones.
The
And
Bill Cosby joke about how kids lose their brains at 13 and don't get them back until they're 20
yeah,
comes to mind.
Yeah.
but I mean, they get better by the time they get into high school. It's just those 2 years in intermediate, 2 to 3 years in intermediate school. They're the worst. And I know what I was like. I didn't know what I was doing. I all of a sudden you get this rush of hormones and hair starts growing on you. And some of the kids in your class are 9 feet tall and growing a beard, and the other ones look like they're 6. It's just a freak show. Intermediate school is just a terrible place. And if I had the internet during that time when I was forming new opinions and I
Here's
thought
a
I was
place to put all
smarter,
my rage and frustration.
yeah, Dad will regret having grounded me. Clickety, 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 click.
So that's what my son was doing. The whole time I thought he was masturbating.
hmm
Well,
And
you're
if
probably
anyone's
doing
doing it past that age and they're 20 or 30 or 40, it's their problem. That's their life that they have to make square if that's how they're spending their free time. But past had the mild annoyance of having to read some incredibly dumb and intentionally inflammatory comments. I don't take the bait anymore. It's just like, when atheists go into and go onto channels and bait Christians, or when Christians come in and bait atheists. It's stupid.
Or when followers of Jordan post on my spirit science videos.
Oh wow! I
He's
posted
pretty
on one of
terrible.
those videos, and Jesus, man,
Yeah,
we
those
get
people
trolled.
I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
my initial reaction to the whole spirit science thing. I was watching, I was like, and something in there clicked with me, and I was like, no, this is bullshit, and I'm not going to watch it because this is going to be bad for me, because I can't do this, because
Bad
this
for
is
my soul.
no, it's bad for my mental health. And
That
then
too.
there's some
Yeah.
things, there's certain content where it's, I don't know if it's something about the formula of how it's constructed, or if they're talking about certain kinds of things or whatever. It just clicks with
Martian
me. Like,
Jews
this
on
is not
Atlantis.
good. It's like, this is not good for my condition. And so I realized that only like a few minutes into the first video that I'd seen of his, and I was like, nope, nobody, nope, all aboard the nope train.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of living in the Bay Area, is that I've been exposed to all of this woo in the flesh, face to face, since the first time I moved to San Francisco when
Have
I was.
you met Abram Hicks?
No, I don't know who that is. I don't care.
Oh,
But
she's like the
I've seen
queen of blue.
lesbians do cleansing rituals when they move into new apartment
Does
buildings.
it involve an
I've been
enema?
I've been to the fairy fair on Halloween, which is a bunch of new age people
Oh,
dancing
you
around
have.
with their shirts off. I've seen crystal healing. I've dated witches. I've known lots of woo. And when I see it online, it's not anything that's surprising. It's not anything that's gonna. I recognize Jordan's brand of bullshit. I've seen it several dozen times, and it doesn't make me angry. What makes me angry is his behavior on YouTube. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to say. He can believe whatever he wants to believe. But when he starts getting, litigious and petty, and things start getting flagged, and he starts stomping his wee little feet because he can't handle the idea that people don't believe what he believes, that's when I have a problem.
Yeah, he's responded to one of my comments. He's quite a douche in comment.
He strikes me as a douche in general. I know exactly. I have him pegged. I've seen those types of people at these. If you have a street fair in San Francisco, invariably there is at least half of the stalls there are going to be woo peddlers, and you hear them talking like this all the time. And it's not much more than. It's not even pseudoscientific drivel. It's just drivel. And, if he wants to go into a massive public forum and then get upset when people don't want to buy his horse shit, then he needs to grow the fuck up and buy a pair of balls.
He has 300,000 subscribers, though. That's the thing.
Does he?
Yes.
So? See, that's just it. I don't give a
Fuck.
fuck.
Popularity
It bothers me. It bothers the fuck out of me.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Dude, we've been living on a planet where the majority of the people who live here believe that an invisible sky monster of one form or another, whether they have multiple arms and Shiva, whether it's Jehovah, whether it's the whatever version of the Abrahamic gods you want, we have had people who've sacrificed people, slaughtered people. It's only within the last 200 years or so that people have been able to step out and say, I don't believe in God, without being fucking eviscerated for it. It's gonna take time, and you know what? People are desperately grabbing for whatever floats their boat, and 300,000 people are subscribed to them because that fills some kind of hole in their lives. And And it's not my fucking job to go up to those people and go, hi! And no matter how well-intentioned I'm going to be, if I try to convince them that everything they believe is bullshit, they're going to turn harder away. It happens every goddamn time. The more irate and angry, and the more you try to tell, oh, if you believe this, you're a fucking idiot. And if you believe this, you're a fucking idiot. And you're all fucking idiots. And you're destroying everything. They're not going to listen to a word you say, and it's going to reinforce their beliefs worse. You know how you influence people? By not fucking wearing your atheism on your sleeve and not constantly telling people that you're a skeptic and an atheist. Because what's really surprising is when a Catholic person goes, oh, I didn't know you were an atheist.
Plenty of people don't know I'm an atheist.
Yeah, and they're surprised because their idea of an atheist are loudmouth jerks they're more used to hearing people tell them from atheists that they're assholes. I'm not closeted. If it comes up or if I feel uncomfortable with something, I'll say, no, I'm sorry, I'm an atheist. But for the most part, it was like my veganism. I was a vegan and most people didn't know until I got invited to a party and said, oh, no, that's okay, I'm a vegan. And people would get all upset. And they say, oh, I have no idea you're a vegan. I said, well, it's because it was a personal choice, and I don't feel like I have to inflict my beliefs or force other people to make concessions for something that I chose to do. It's the same thing with my skepticism. I don't feel that I have to have everyone believe what I believe and call everyone else stupid for believing things which, by the way, have been believed in for a really goddamn long time. And my getting angry is not going to change anyone's opinion. Did someone yelling at you, did anyone ever say to you, Atticus, when you believed, if you heard an atheist yelling and screaming, talking about how dumb the beliefs are and, oh, Sky Daddy this and blah, 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 did any of those arguments convince you?
Well, I wrote about it in my deconversion series.
Yeah.
My thing was I was around a lot of people who were like they would use the very simple attacks like could God lift a rock that blah blah blah,
Yeah.
or how do you not understand evolution, or this or that, and it was pretty much me. They would be like, well, I was so worried about blaspheming the Holy Spirit that any thought to me that was against God, like even questioning it, being like, oh well, maybe they're right, and then I go, oh shit, I gotta go pray, or I'd have a severe
Yeah.
anxiety attack.
But
No,
I mean,
no,
the
it didn't
thing
work. It
is that
didn't work.
my whole point is there are a couple of rules. If you're coming on YouTube and you're making things directly towards atheists, gloves are off. I'm sorry, but if you're going to say that atheists are stupid or whatever, and you're going
Yeah.
to make a whole bunch of arguments that are not supported by science or facts, don't get upset when I decide that I'm going to counter what you're arguing with. But the majority of religious people also don't wear their religions on their sleeve. And they don't sit there and well, I'm granted I live in California where it's not as prevalent, but I would have to say that 90% of my coworkers are all very religious, and I've worked with them long enough now that they all know that I'm a skeptic, and I'm still included in all their functions, and they still talk to me every day, and we have a great relationship.
Well, that was what I mean is that when it comes to people making outrageous statements,
Yeah,
that's a thing
and
that I
that's
do
that's
like
the
to go
difference.
after. And
I
like
believe in respect back when respect is given. You know?
yes. Recently, I mean, I made that video dueling Alexes on atheism because essentially the guy that was talking sounded like he was using the voice animator from some program. So I thought, I'll just talk to him back the same way. And 3 weeks after I made the video, he finally comments. He's like, "An atheist still can't refute my stuff." And I was just like, okay, you didn't make anything. You're boring. Shut up.
Mhm. I
And
mean, here's the
yeah.
thing. I've never heard. I personally try. Well, I mean, I know. I say what I've researched and I know to be true.
Hmm.
I've never. But when I see people like Ken Ham and
Yeah.
Ray Comfort and all of those other assholes spread absolute lies that they have to know are lies when they're being dishonest for a profit motive,
Yeah. Absolutely.
then
That's the time
Yeah.
I make my videos is when it's when somebody makes all the outrageous statements.
Because the problem is that it can be very, very easily misconstrued when a well-meaning Christian person comes in and then they get tag teamed by a bunch of bully atheists. The overall experience is atheists are know-it-all bullies who are just basically jerks, and the majority of all atheists and skeptics that I know aren't. We defend ourselves. We challenge people who make false claims, but that should be the extent of it. There are some people who are using their atheism as a club and using it to try to smack people around. I don't agree with that bullshit. As long as the last time I checked, I live in a free fucking country, and I will defend a religious person's right to practice their religion freely, just as I would defend an atheist or a skeptic to be able to live in this country without harassment. And that's the bottom line. That's just the way I feel. And I feel that's the only, because change is going to be generational.
Absolutely. And that was the thing. I think recently I got into an argument with a religious family member, and they essentially, the argument devolved into an actual argument rather than logical argumentation.
Yeah.
And eventually he was like, well, this is the way it was and that's the way it should be. And I said, you know what's funny? Those ways are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not unhappy about saying that. I don't care if it offends you, but it's going to die, and there is nothing you can do about it. Gays are going to get married. we're gonna attempt to save the planet from global warming,
Mhm.
and
You don't even have to do that. Just ask them to take a look at their own religion 500 years ago, if their religion even existed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the thing is we can come off as bullies, at the end, and that's the only part that he remembers of the conversation. Is that
Mhm.
is that at the end I just said, you know what, your fucking way of living is going to die because you don't know how to accept the fact that things are going to change.
See, I don't do that. I say if you have a problem with it, then make it part of the tenet of your church, but don't expect other people who don't belong to your church to follow it.
Well, he's part of a Baptist church in Texas, so
Mm.
I
And
doubt
guess
very
what?
much.
In 20 years, there's going to be a sect of gay Baptists that are going to have their own church. And they're going to leave the Baptist church and they're going to start their own Southern Gay Baptists of America or something like that.
Yeah. And I think Peachy brought it up recently. The Peach, she made a video explaining how pretty much every state is in legal battle about gay marriage, and that you can expect within the next 5 years or so that all 50 states are going to allow it.
Yeah.
And that's when we're going to get all of them saying, we've gone one by one down, state by state, and now the devil will rise and this blood moon will.
They'll move on to something else. That's
Yeah.
what they always do. Guess they abandoned liquor, didn't they? Boy, oh boy, did they make a fucking mistake with alcohol. All the religious groups got all up on alcohol's dick, and then they finally managed to get it banned in the United States. And then the mob came in, and everyone was fucking miserable. And pretty soon, it turned the country into a nation of goddamn criminals.
Mm.
And then when they admitted their mistake and they legalized it again, some preachers would say, stay away from the devil alcohol, but you don't hear that anymore, do you?
No.
That's because they moved on to something else. They jumped on weed because, foreigners
weed is legal now.
and the colored smoked weed, so no one else should smoke weed and drugs and all
what
that.
could they
and jazz
possibly move
music
on to the next, though? That's the thing.
themselves.
Oh, they're gonna fight. You're gonna infight.
They're gonna go. They're gonna go
Yeah.
back to the good old days, where they hate each other. They already do. You should hear how Baptists talk about Lutherans, and how Lutherans, well, they don't really care. But you know how Pentecostals talk about how they're the only club, or the Baptists talk about how they're the only club, and all of them have the key to heaven. And all of them, and when they don't have anything left to fight, when they don't have any legal recourse, when the rest of the world has accepted gays or accepted, sane recreational drug use or whatever other thing that they have a problem with,
Yeah.
I would say the next
there
thing
will
they're
be
going
some
after
groups.
is like science stuff, evolution. Well,
luck.
they're still on that.
Good luck. I'm sorry, but there's
losing
more.
battle.
There's more money, and there's always going to be more money in science than courting the religious right.
I
Yep.
kind of feel like at this point, because creationists do. I mean, they do have a lot of money backing them up, but the thing is, they're so small a group amongst all of the religious groups in the U.S. that eventually that's going to die off as well. I mean, you're going to have a few people talking about it, but I think that pretty much everyone is accepting and saying, all right,
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
They banned stem cell because there was no market for it in the United States. There were no major companies backing stem cell use in the U.S., so there was no money to fight it. If stem cell research had been a major money-making thing in the United States when the religious right went after it, no one would have picked it up. Here's the thing. The Republicans and the conservatives don't give two shits about abortion. Not one. Not a single one of them. They had control of the Senate, the House, and the White House. They did jack shit. They did nothing in regards to abortion legislation. At any point, any of them could have put forward, we're going to change the Constitution. We have it in the House, we have it in the Senate, and we'll have the President sign it. It'll be passed into law. We'll change it. Did they do it? No, because they don't give two shits about it. If a European company makes a gigantic goddamn breakthrough with stem cells and starts making buttloads of money, guess what's going to be legal in the United States again? And there's nothing
Yeah.
that the religious right is going to be able to do about it. Nothing. They will go to all of these Republicans and they will pay them lip service, and they say, "Oh, we'll get on right it," and the Republicans will stand up and say, "We got to stop this stem cell," and then lo and behold, it will become legal again. Money is the great equalizer, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. They'll move on to stem cells. They'll try to do science. They'll try to get all of this stuff passed in the courts. But guess what? If you get religion in a public school, all it takes is one circuit court.
Yeah, and I've also
And it
noticed
doesn't
that
even take much.
Church attendance is starting to dwindle.
It's why I never sweated gay marriage. It's why I got, I lamented when Prop 8 here in California passed, but I also knew, well, great, now you guys are going to need to bump this up to, because once this reaches the Supreme Court, as powerful as they are, have a very narrow lens that they can view things, and that lens is the goddamn Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And there is a lot in the Bill of Rights about limiting how they're not supposed to limit individual freedom. And it is a limitation of individual freedom to not allow gays to marry a consenting adult. And that's what was going to be passed. So if the religious right wanted to make sure that it became legal throughout the entire country, they should just keep fighting it, passing laws that are unconstitutional. Because eventually it's going to get bumped up to the Supreme Court, and their ruling is going to be permanent and solid.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been already.
It is, and I'm absolutely sure that state by state we're just going to see each of those lights blinking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be, that's the way it is. And I was talking to another religious relative recently who was just like, I want everybody to shut up about this. And I was like, what do you mean? Why should we have to shut up? And he goes, no, I don't want you to shut up about your rights. What I want is for people to accept this and move on, so we can move on to acceptable dinner conversation.
Yeah, because there's nothing. I'm lucky. I have a liberal family.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it. Someone at work said I don't think gays should marry, and I didn't angrily ask them. I said, why is that? He says, I don't think it's natural. I don't think it's this. I don't think it's that. And I said, can you explain to me what's natural about marriage? About the concept itself.
There's nothing natural about it.
What is natural about marriage? It's an old contract binding two people together legally under the eyes of whatever government they happen to live under. It is not. There are no. I don't know if are there marriage rights in the Bible? Because the big problem I have with people quoting the Bible is, guess what? Polyamory is in the Bible big time. Yep. And you guys seem to be dead set against it. Guess what? I'm pro polyamorous relationships. I'm pro polygamy, because if it's so long it's between consenting adults, it should not be against the law. It doesn't make any sense. It's inflicting a moral code adopted by the government that limits individual freedoms. Mm-hmm. If consenting adults want to be in a polygamous relationship where there's one man and 4 women, or 5 men and 1 woman, or 3 women and 5 guys, or whatever the fuck it is, then they should be allowed to do it. And if you don't like it, then maybe you should stop being in the marriage business.
Yeah,
government.
And that's the thing, though.
Like any of the Heinlein novels, the later stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't read them. But I was going to say, that has to do with the majority of what I want to study in college, is human sexuality. Is that in general, everything about our bodies and how men and women interact, and how men and women interact, says we are not meant to be monogamous, at least not for a long time. There are serial monogamies, that's very prevalent in just the way our bodies look, and how we evolved. But there's nothing about us that says, hey, we're supposed to be married for X amount, forever. No, because why do most marriages, eventually end in the end? Is because you're no longer, that's part of it. I hate saying it, and a lot of people don't like it when I say it, but sexual attraction matters. If you're attracted to somebody else and you go and sleep with them, well, that ends that silly marriage contract now, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can, if you really want to break it down, marriage is an extension of um, uh, confirming reproductive success.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it as a strictly biological function, it is something that we came up with to guarantee that our offspring, to have a better guarantee that our offspring are
We're not
from us,
cuckolded, yeah.
that they didn't come from someone else. And even then, that's not much of a guarantee. But the basic roots of something like a marriage contract is firmly rooted in our nature. It's not. It's not. It does not have. Romantic marriage didn't exist until the last century. Marriage for love was a foreign concept. It was romantic that people who are in love should be able to get married, but in practice, it seldom happened. I mean,
That's why I always cringe when some people mention traditional marriage.
What's that?
Okay, so yeah, what is that?
I think I remember reading recently in one of Charles Darwin's diaries that he was basically writing down a pro and con of getting married in left and right, and then in one he's like less freedom, and then the others sex whenever you want it. It was like so it wasn't. Yeah, I don't remember him writing anything about love anywhere in there, and that was very prevalent in marriages at that time. Although I do genuinely believe he loved his wife very much. But essentially when he was thinking about getting married, he wasn't like, well, I love this bitch. He was thinking I need to get married because it's about that time. And I want to have children, and this is what. Yeah, it was just essentially he was such a stickler for doing things correctly that's what you can find in one of his diaries. This is how it goes. He didn't write down, well, I love her.
Well, I think we end the show now. It's been an hour and a half.
Really?
I'm tired. Yes, I am tired of. I only do one 9-hour show a week, and that's tomorrow.
But we haven't even said the word cunt yet. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you said it. There you go. Now we can close the show. Schizophrenic Queen is going to be very upset to come back and find us not here.
Oh.
I would like everyone, thank you for stopping by and listening to us be extraordinarily crass for the first hour and then deadly serious for the last half an hour.
Sorry about that. That might be partially my fault.
No. These Friday Fun Houses are fun to do, and I know I do them infrequently, but I'll try to do them more often. Please leave comments down below if you have anything that we should do, something more structured with these things, let me know. I would like to thank Atticus, Firefly, the Schizophrenic Queen, who's busy outside burning tobacco and inhaling the smoke into her lungs. And thank you guys for tuning in, and see you guys real soon.
All right. See you tomorrow, guys.